A man has died in his attempt to rescue others who were drowning in floodwaters. The death of the 35-year-old commercial driver happened in Kumasi, leaving many shocked with grief. Kweku, who was also a washing bay attendant, is now hailed as a hero in the community following his death. The police have subsequently retrieved and deposited his body at the morgue. Joy News' Ashanti regional correspondent Mohammed Nuruddin has more.
Well, he's been identified as Kweku, and he is married with one woman, and they have 2 children now as I'm speaking. And what we have gathered now is that when the rain started, he went out to buy food for the family while the woman was taking care of the 2 kids. So when he went out, he met the incident and he tried to save other people. I'm told that he really saved some people from being carried away by the water. And so when he was returning from the incident on his way back home, that was when he came into contact with electric wire, which was cut off from the main electric pole, and he died. And so that was exactly what happened, and Kweku died. So the police came this morning and conveyed the body to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital morgue. So
he was electrocuted?
Exactly.
Okay. Now, where exactly did this incident take place?
It happened at so on your way, just a few minutes to drive from the Kumasi airport roundabout, and there is a bridge there that divides the road between the Krofom and then the airport roundabout. And I must say that last night when I got there, it was very serious, and some of the drivers they were very stranded. Passengers were also stranded, and those who couldn't manage to pass through had to, change their direction. And, this particular, at the roundabout, when you are from Ababu descending to the roundabout, we have 3 main roads. The one is leading towards Bokrum, the other is also leading towards the Menchia Palace. And the main one, which is leading towards Krofom, all of these 3 main roads were flooded, and in fact it was very, very difficult for the drivers to use the road.
Well, the perennial rains that hit most parts of Accra Tuesday have also claimed the life of a 20-year-old woman at Agege, a suburb of Accra. Residents in the area woke up to see the young woman's foot sticking out of an overflowing gutter. Francis Aban has been monitoring the effects of Tuesday's downpour and has further report.
We do know from some residents around that she actually fell into this gutter and lost her life. Let's get some more details from someone who saw it happen.
She's a resident in the area, just a girl around,
Okay. Which school does she attend?
She attended school around here, but now I think they said she's at GIG.
GIG?
Yeah, so she was on her way to school.
Okay. Is this the first time there's been an incident of somebody falling into this gutter when it rains?
Yeah, first time.
First time.
I can recall a similar incident about a schoolgirl who nearly got drowned. It took the timely intervention of a hairdresser to rescue her.
I'm at the family house of 20-year-old Frida. She died this morning after falling into a gutter on a very, very rainy morning. The house, everyone here is sobbing, crying, in shock and at, confusion, don't understand what has happened here as to why their relative has passed on so painfully. The mother is here in uncontrollable tears, but she's granted us the interview to be able to speak to her and find out what she makes of everything that has happened. Mama,
yes.
Good afternoon. Say Eddie, Mama Miawani, Nakache, Bibi Kakra. Then I'll see you.
I'm okay. Sorry if you get a student soon. No, say, of course, school, yeah, government secretariat, near cantonment.
She schools at the government secretariat, the one close to cantonment. She left home at about 4:45 a.m. All of a sudden, I saw a group of people rush here to inform me she has fallen into a gutter. I'm told those who were at the scene were hesitant to take her out of the gutter for security reasons. When I rushed to the scene and checked, it was my daughter. She was pronounced dead upon arrival at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Hospital, yes, some could do on Doctor Fairness. You and ye,
This is really difficult for me because I have only 2 children.
Well, police personnel at the Mamprobi police barracks are appealing to the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Al-Hassan, to, as a matter of urgency, order for rehabilitation works to begin in their apartments. Now, this distress call comes in the wake of Tuesday's floods that destroyed property belonging to some personnel living in those barracks. They say when drains are constructed in the area, it will make flooding a thing of the past and make life in barracks easier. Derek Ekosam has the rest of the story.
In the thick of the night, frogs croak, signaling the presence of water. Today's rains have left most of the police personnel terrified as the rainy season appears to have started in full swing. The whole area is waterlogged and makes it easier for water to stay on their lands. It was difficult walking through the pools of water that had gathered at the barracks hours after the rains had receded. But with the help of a torchlight, I find my way around the area with extreme caution. The area around the police station is filled with mud. The drains are choked, a major reason for the heavy flooding after every heavy downpour. The police personnel tell me they live in discomfort, but they would not speak on camera for fear of losing their jobs. They are, however, hopeful that when the drains are constructed, flooding will be a thing of the past. From what I see, the protectors also need protection from the floods. For Joy News, Derek Ekosam, Mamprobi.
Well, the downpour may be over, but some of Accra's residents are still having to worry about the next downpour. And for residents of Adediempo, is the high-tension cable running through the suburb that has people fearing for their lives. Ifwa Aquarius reports, the residents speak of sparks emanating from some electric cables sticking out from the earth. They say also sends electric current through the soil each time it rains.
A ticking time bomb. That is what residents of Adediempo in Accra are living with next to exposed high-tension electricity underground wires.
Electric was bombing.
What happened before the electric was bombing?
When the rain was falling.
When the rain was falling, then the electric was bombing?
Yes.
Francis Asari is a resident here with some electrician skills. He tells me every time it rains, the ground charges.
A little boy cruised from church, got shocked here, and the thing just threw him away like that. I wasn't here. They called me and I told them nobody should pass here. Other than that, as soon as they called me, I bring the tester out to come and I test over there.
Where?
Where? Here. Where the cement is. And the whole place was danger. You hear boom, boom, exploding and things. So I was the one who came and separated it like this.
This is not the only exposed wire here. The danger goes down the street to the public washroom in the neighborhood and round to resident Christiana Noy's backyard.
Every week, when they can't twins, they are going to fight.
It is troubling. Every week, the electric lines blast. If we don't keep an eye on the children, they can go there and die.
A closed shop right by the exposed high-tension wires. Residents tell me the owner of this container has not been to work for a while, not since the wires started sparking a few days ago. But not this shop owner, Madam Millie. Even though she is afraid, she has to work.
When I came to buy the container, the authorities told me they would fix the wires. But for over 5 months, it's been like this. Every time it rains, I have to protect people, especially the children.
The people here are fed up. They've called the ECG so many times. After a year, nothing has been done to ensure the safety of Adedengpo residents except for random patchwork.
We've been reporting this thing for long. If you went there and report, they will come and do this thing and leave it like this.
They'll come and do what? So they'll separate it like you've separated it?
They will come and do it like they'll separate as I did. This is my own cable. You can see the cables are different. They are small. The big one is for ECG. Tell you there is no material. They will come and separate it, and they will tell you they are going to bring a material to come and fix it and put it on the ground. But they won't do it. It will be there like this until it got blasted again before they will come.
Last week it shocked one of our brother, small boy. So the other day too, it killed one of goat here.
So we tried contacting the Kolebu district manager of the electricity company to find out why the work here is being done in bits and pieces. We were unable to reach the appropriate authorities.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, there's no response from this office.
We will try again, but until then, danger looms for the people of Adedengpo. If quick action is not taken by the Electricity Company of Ghana, and we are told that the responsibility lies with the Kolebu district, the tragedy here won't be an injured boy. The people would be mourning something more than a dead goat or a dead chicken. Ifo Akwa Harrison, Joy News, Accra.
The 3-day 4th World Mayors Summit ongoing in Accra ends today. Now, speaking at the summit, ex-president Jerry John Rawlings has been blaming modernization and poor leadership for the perennial floods that continue to cause havoc in cities across the globe. His comments come at the back of human lives and property lost to yesterday's heavy downpour in parts of the country, including Accra.
Many areas across the city were flooded. Even some of our newly constructed streets were not spared the flooding. The floods and the havoc they wreaked were the best reminder of the challenges cities face in the drive to modernity and why modernization, though it requires leadership, planning, a sense of direction and boldness, is also about the mindset and education of a people, especially on appropriate sanitation practices and habits. Technological advancement is definitely the way to go in ensuring that our cities stay abreast with the challenges of population increases, with the attendant increase in vehicle ownership, production of waste material, and a rise in pollution. We are racing against time as we confront these challenges, ladies and gentlemen.
He also took a swipe at the gross disrespect shown to him by the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Hannah Tete, on hosting the summit. Let's get more from Seth Kwame-Boateng, who now joins us over the telephone with the very latest there. So, Seth, what else has former President Rawlings been saying?
Well, aside speaking about the need for us to ensure that urbanization its effect dealt with. He wasn't also happy with the behavior of the foreign minister. Mr. President, the former president said last Monday, the president was supposed to open the summit, but he couldn't come. When Mr. Rollins got here, the president wasn't, so he asked the Accra mayor where the president was. The Accra mayor called to find out, and he also, the president cannot make it. Instead, the foreign minister was coming to speak on his behalf. That was the point he insisted, Mr. Rollins insisted that when the president is not available, the vice president is there. So it should not be the foreign minister who should come and deliver the address. So he insisted that the mayor of Accra calls the president and tell the president that he is saying that's not the protocol and that the vice president should come and do that instead of the foreign minister. So they did that, and the president agreed that, oh yes, the vice president should come. When Madam Anatete got here, she insisted that the program should start. And they told her the president has directed that the vice president come and speak on his behalf. And so they should hand the script over so that they will give it to the vice president. He understands she got angry and left the place.
Wow.
Mr. Rollins is not happy about that. And he said that the president is humble. But some characters, that was the word he used, some characters around the president are those creating problems for the president. And that if he had his own way, some of the people would not even be there. And he also spoke about how we sit down as Ghanaians for people to take us for granted. Some foreigners come in and take us for granted. And our leaders oppress us. We are unable to say anything. He said we should be courageous like Nigerians so that we can resist attempts by people to pull us down and do all kind of things to us.
It is. We must not stop. We are.
Our apologies for the breaking sound there. But moving on, a senior meteorologist at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Michael Paddy, says the southern sector of the country is to expect more rains in the coming weeks. He added that although the citizenry are expected to decongest their gutters, flooding in the southern area is inevitable.
To do is maybe they have to desilt their gutters and keep their surroundings clean. But the amount of rain, 140 and above, is quite heavy, which will definitely get some places flooded. Even if they try, it will still be flooded. The west coast, that's from central region towards the western region, Takrady, Axim, they are expected to continue to experience the rain, maybe up to evening. Then there is another system which is currently over the lower portions of Togo and is also moving slightly westward. It is also expected to affect the east coast by this evening.
Well, Tuesday's downpour is said to have also triggered the upsurge of tidal waves in some communities in Keta and the Ketu South municipalities. The residents are calling for the construction of a sea defense wall to protect the entire coastline. Well, let's get more from our Volta regional correspondent who reported earlier on this.
Has also triggered the rain, the upsurge of the tidal waves in communities like Adina, Lekusu, and Hobi along the new Keta stretch of the big road. That's between the Ketu and Keta municipality, and also in Chita Anyani, Hobi, also in the Shime district of the Volta region. That's also in the Keta municipality. For the Hobi, you have to cross the river before you go. So right now, people are displaced right now, and I was told this morning that the NATMO is on their way to the islands to see what is happening to assess the situation. I am also on my way back to the other place in Ketu South to get any other detailed info from there. But what the problem is, these communities have been hit by this The people say the only solution is for government to construct a sea defense wall to protect the entire coastline. So that is what has happened. So the rain has actually triggered the aspect of the tidal wave in the area.
All right, Ivy, let me ask again. For those who were displaced, how did they pass the night yesterday?
With families and friends, of course.
I see. And there's been no intervention from, you are saying NADMO is yet to respond to them. NADMO is yet to...
Yeah, NADMO, according to what the MC for Keta, Sylvester Tonyabat told me, this one according on phone, is that they are on their way to the site. They bring to the other side, that's the new Keta stretch of the beach road. They bring to that place, but they are now going to the island, that is Kobe, to see, to assess the situation there. But the MP told me he's not around, he's on his way from a conference. And the MP also, Humado also said he's on his way coming so that they can see how best to help these displaced families to get back to their homes.
The chairman of the Council of Independent Universities in Ghana is asking President Mahama to, as a matter of urgency, change the process through which private university colleges acquire a charter to become fully fledged universities. Professor Kwesi Yanka says the current process of affiliating private universities to already existing government universities makes it difficult to attract foreign investors, with implications for the economy in the long run.
Ghana had its first university college in 1948, when the then University College of Gold Coast was established to provide post-secondary education to Ghanaians. After 14 years of affiliation to the University of London, the university gained its autonomy and became known as the University of Ghana. This system of affiliation was adopted to fine-tune post-secondary education in the country. But the chairman of the Council of Independent Universities, Professor Kwesi Yanka, says this system is obsolete and does not serve the best interest of the country.
You may be a Methodist University College. You are not granting the degree of Methodist University College. You are granting the degree of University of Ghana or Cape Coast or Care University and so on. Your self-identity is completely lost. If anybody wants to do business with you, invest in your university, he may think twice. Who am I dealing with? Is it with you or with your master? Who are you? You have no identity whatsoever. I've seen so many investors in private, potential investors in private education walking back with their monies because they don't want to deal with private university colleges. They want fully fledged universities. Secondly, the system of university colleges, in the sense of affiliation, you training your students and giving the degree of another university, has been abolished throughout Africa. There is not one single country in Africa practicing this system to which we are clinging. We have clung for so many years. Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Chad, Niger, Mozambique. It's strange that you attend a conference anywhere and you explain this system to them and say, what, do you still operate this system in this 21st century? It is an obsolete system that no longer exists.
He believes the system of affiliation affects the number of students who apply for admission to the private universities because of the notion that private universities cannot offer the opportunities the public universities offer to their graduates.
It affects intake. Many a time private universities, even as I sit here, we have lots of applications on our desk. It's possible that many of the candidates have also applied to other universities, including the state-owned ones, but will rather wait until they don't get admission to the public universities, and so therefore they decide to apply to us. It may also be purely economic, purely a factor, and a financial factor, namely that they are slightly cheaper, and so therefore it's supposed to be free, if you like, even though it's not free. You pay some user fees, academic user and residential facilities user fees. They think that it's not as expensive as it is. But if you consider the fact that fee-paying students in public universities pay as much fees as they would have paid if they had come to a private university. You realize that there's actually no difference, really, as far as the economic factor is concerned. But yes, it affects our intake because there's a perception that you are a no-good institution. If you were good, you would have been a university rather than a university college.
Professor Yanka also says, despite these challenges, private universities have proved their worth by producing quality graduates. He, however, noted that they are still engaged in dialogue with stakeholders to ensure that private universities are given the same status as public universities.
Working for 9 months without salary. This is the fate of junior doctors in the country. Junior doctors across the country say they cannot continue working after serving the country for 9 months without salary, a situation which has caused them pain and anguish. Some junior doctors at the Kumasi Teaching Hospital have been sharing their experience on Joy FM's Super Morning Show. They say their patience has run out.
If the patient will survive or not, it depends on the house officer, even before your supervisor comes. So you do all these work. After that, you go to the hospital every day to review your cases, do all these. You go at 8, do all your reviews before your bosses comes to join you, then give you the instructions to do other things. We even chase blood, do all the invasive procedures, setting a line. People have had needle pricks, taking prophylaxis. Imagine all these things. So it's very devastating.
We've been working since September 2014 and we have not received a salary. Like, I don't know what a pay slip looks like, unfortunately. And it's not as though we do office hours where we come from 9 a.m. and we close at 5 p.m. For the house officers, we are expected to be at work before 8 a.m. in the morning, and you do not leave until the work is done. There have been times when you go and you come back at work, you come back from work around 11 p.m. It's very normal, unfortunately, and we've been doing all of this for 9 months. We haven't been paid. This strike has been put off for several months. This strike has come about, as in we are on strike right now, not because we want to be or because we are unfeeling or ungrateful. We have tried very, very hard to be patient. There are times when doctors have gone on strike and doctors' relatives have lost their lives as a result. But unfortunately, our backs are against the wall. We can't give the patients our best because we are hungry, we are broke, we are walking to work, we are suffering. It's not... We want to give the patients our best. And like I said, we have tried to put this off for so many months. People have been agitating for a strike since February, and we have tried, we have borne with the hospital administrations, and we've put it off for so many months. 9 months is a very long period of time. And I can honestly say that we regret being forced to this point. But unfortunately, we have been forced to this point, and we have no other option at this point in time.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Health, Alex Segbefia, has given an assurance that striking junior doctors of the Kumasi Teaching Hospital will return to work, hopefully, today. He said the issue had been resolved up to a point, and it was the hope of the ministry that the doctors would rescind their decision, if not today, then in the shortest possible time. The non-payment of salaries for almost 9 months led junior doctors at Kumasi Teaching Hospital to withdraw their services on Monday.
There is the issue of junior doctors striking in Kumasi with Kumasi. We have spoken, I've had meetings with the CEO of Kumasi. He was in Accra yesterday and today. We went through issues. I'm happy to say that we have been able to resolve issues up to a point. So I'm quietly confident, and I use that word, quietly confident that we will get the young doctors, we'll be able to reach an agreement, an arrangement with the young doctors, which will allow them to go back to work shortly.
You're watching News Today here on Joy News Multi TV. We'll return shortly with some business stories. Stay with us. Ghana's efforts to eradicate food insecurity has been commended with impressive strides made in the area of halving the proportion and the number of hungry people by 2015. The country has been cited among 7 others in Africa committed to fighting hunger Assistant Director General of the Food and Agricultural Organization, Buka Tijani, tells Joy Business Ghana's strides are remarkable.
Ghana has performed incredibly well compared to the 72 countries that have been assessed and that have reached the MDG 1 goal, which really is looking at making half the number of people who go hungry. And any country that has reached the World Food Summit target has also reached the MDG 1 target. And we saw that for Ghana, there seemed to be a very high commitment, political commitment, and also there is an increase in investment both by government, the private sector, and also producers, marketers, and processors.
Local SMEs will soon be able to access the needed support as a business networking forum is underway to cushion them. Business participating in the forum, meanwhile, are being taken through procurement plans and tender notice in order to better appeal to investors.
Invest in Africa, a private sector initiative that brings together leading companies across sectors to work together with local SMEs to develop local enterprise and support investment into Ghana, has hosted its inaugural African Partner Pool Business Network. This forum brought together big companies like Talu, Newmont, EcoBank, and several others to help assist small and medium-scale enterprise in Ghana. Participating companies who spoke with Joy Business have high hopes.
I think, Nemo, we have been supporting local businesses for some time now. In a half-full, some time ago, we really did a very massive capacity building for our local business around the mine. And after that, we believe we were very successful, and we are now looking at working with the Chamber of Mines in collaboration with the other mining companies to see how best we can develop our suppliers for the bigger mining industry.
For us at AGI, this is very, very important to us in the sense that our is to give business opportunities to our members for them to promote their businesses and take advantage of the platform that really exists within this partnership. So for us at the AGI, it's very, very important for all our members to take advantage of this opportunity.
Manager of Invest in Africa, Sam Bradford, tells Joy Business SMEs participating in the forum have a higher chance of attracting investors.
Fact that a lot of small companies do not see their way clear when it comes to accessing tenders of the bigger companies. And then the bigger companies also felt that a lot of their sourcing was problematic. They didn't know who to go to supply, let's say, this lanyard that you have on. So the APP has come to bridge that gap.
The Africa Partner Pool, APP, an online cross-sector business directory, is aimed at connecting local and international companies.
Welcome to Sports here on News Today. My name is Benedict Owusu. In our very first story, Ghana coach Abraham Grant has been handed an opportunity to assess his team before they begin their 2017 AFCON qualifier campaign with a friendly against Togo. Now, the Black Stars, I should say, will take on the Hawks on Monday at the Accra Sports Stadium. Grant has named a strong 23-man squad for the game, which includes skipper Asamoah Gyan, who returns to the team after missing their last two games through injury. Now, assistant skipper Andre Ayew was excluded from the squad as he is recovering from an injury he sustained, while playing for his club side, Olympique Marseille. Now, England-based winger Albert Adoma returns to the team for the first time since the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. The only new addition is 23-year-old midfielder Bernard Mensah, who plays his club football at Victoria Gomes in Portugal. Juventus star Kudus Asamoah failed to make the cut despite recovering from injury, from that horrific injury, which kept him out in action for more than 6 weeks. Now the team will have a non-residential campaign. The team will have a non-residential campaign today. That will start tomorrow actually, and the game is on Saturday. Now the full squad. As you can see, goalkeepers Razak Brahima, Fatah Dawda plays at Ashanti Golden, Suwa plays for Don Bosco, and for the defenders, Harris Naffel, as always, is in the Esperance de Tunisia. There is John Boy, who plays his football in Turkey, and Jonathan Mensah, Evian Tonongayad in France. Remember, they got relegated. Jeffrey Schlupp is at Leicester City in England, and Baba Rahman plays in Germany with Augsburg. Jima Edwin plays at Mpumalanga Black Aces in South Africa, and Daniel Amate is with FC Copenhagen in Denmark. For the midfielders, Rabiu Mohamed plays at Krasnodar in Russia. Emmanuel Ajmambedi Udinese. Rufia Aqua plays with Sampdoria in Italy, and Solomon Asante plays in plays at TP Mazembe in DR Congo, and Christian Achu now has moved to Bournemouth in England, and Mubarak Wakasu is with Celtic. There's Frankie Champon, who plays his club football at Anderlecht, and Albert Adoma is with Middlesbrough in England, and Bernard Mensah, that's the new addition to the squad. He plays at Victoria Gomeres. You look at the strikers, 4 strikers have been called up by coach Avram Grant, and as always, Mana Samajan, the captain of the team, is in. He plays his club football at Al Ain in the United Arab Emirates, and Jordan Ayew with Lorraine in France. Kwesi Appiah plays at Crystal Palace in England, and David Akam is with Chicago Fire in the United States of America. Now, the day Ayew couldn't make the squad, the reason is simple. He's recovering from an injury. That's why he's not in the squad. Well, let's move on to some other stories. And former Ghana FA chairman Nyaho Tamaklo believes Africa lost a great jewel following the imminent exit of long-standing FIFA boss Joseph Blatter. Now, the shocking announcement from the 79-year-old on Tuesday got the world tumbling just days after he won his re-election bid. Now, Blatter enjoys unwavering support on the continent after imparting positively with lots of developmental programs. Africans see the Swiss as a friend to the continent as he preaches equity, fairness, and equality among nations. So that's what the former Ghana Football Association chairman, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, has been saying. And for him, he believes that the next successor to Blatter can be the FA president, Kwesi Nyantakyi.
Kwesi Nyantakyi took over from me. Yeah. I know Kwesi very well.
Yeah.
And if you want to get my views clear, I think he's doing very, very well. Nyantakyi is a very competent person. He knows exactly what he's about. He knows where he's carrying Ghana football. And to me, if the world would be fair and they really want to deal with people,
yeah,
we can easily enter into the fray, throw his heart into the ring. He's more than competent to do that. I say he's more than competent to get into the race. So, who are those there? That's crazy. Who are those there? Who are those coming?
Yeah.
He's more than competent.
So that was former Ghana Football Association chairman speaking on the Blatter issue, and also talking about how Kwesi Nyantakyi, current president of the Football Association, can go ahead and become the next FIFA boss. Now, Ghana midfielder Michael Essien has finalized his move to Greek side Panathinaikos by signing a 2-year deal. Now, the club, that's a 32-year-old, was available on a free transfer after being out of his contract at AC Milan. He was down the pecking order and not was handed a contract extension. Essen was linked with a move to MLS side, that's Red Bulls New York, but he later came out to say that he was no longer interested. But Panathinaikos, who won the Greek Super League and qualified for next season's Champions League, managed to convince the former Chelsea midfielder. A statement on the club's website states, and I quote, Panathinaikos FC is delighted to announce the agreement reached with Michael Essien, the Ghana international. And on that note, we end sports here with me, Benedict Owusu. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of the program with Chen Hene. Have a good afternoon. A middle-aged woman has been shot at Nkonya Kejebi in the Volta region. Unknown assailants reportedly shot at the woman while on her way to her farm, injuring her in the shoulder. Police say she's currently receiving treatment at the Rara Government Hospital. According to Chief Superintendent Jehu, who is the Kwando Divisional Police Commander, the Volta Regional Security Council has visited the affected victim to console and assure them of government's assistance in the shortest possible time. He said the RECSEC is currently held up in a meeting with the chiefs at Alavanyo to find a lasting solution to the ongoing crisis.
Well, we can now take a live feed from Parliament where we are told the vetting of some Supreme Court nominees by the President is still ongoing. Well, it started yesterday. Let's get the very latest from our correspondent on this beat. Elton John Brobe joins me now over the phone now. So, Elton, can you tell me what has been going on in Parliament today as regards the vetting process?
Well, the event is about that the committee members were held up in a meeting all morning. They are now done with the meeting, and they are coming into the committee room for the vetting of the former General Secretary for the PNC, Gabriel Kwaman, to start. Now, he's been nominated to serve as Justice of the Supreme Court. Information I have picked is that the committee met to consider a petition filed against the nominee, actually questioning the suitability of the nominee for this particular job. And the petition relates to some issues of forgery. So the committee met. The meeting lasted for well over 2 hours. They are done with the meeting. They are back in the committee when we are waiting for the chairman of the committee, First Deputy Speaker Eboba Asmedo, to bring the meeting to order. And then we will know whether the chairman will bring to the notice of the general public and the members of the committee the content of this petition that has been filed challenging the suitability of Mr. Gabriel Kwaman to serve as justice on the Supreme Court. My information is that this petition relates to allegations of forgery against this particular nominee. But everything is set and settled now. They are back in the committee. Very soon, the event will start, and then we will know the details relating to this petition, whether or not the nominee still have what it takes to serve as justice of the Supreme Court.
Do we know the identity of the person or group of persons who put forward this particular petition?
It is not clear as of now. The members of the committee will not disclose the identity of this petitioner, but I'm sure that this person is a lawyer, a professor in law, and he is an understanding. Indeed, when I saw the petition, over 100-page document, very voluminous, that has been presented to the committee. So the committee has to sit for well over 2 hours to look through the document presented. Indeed, you can tell that this particular petitioner has done a lot of work on this particular issue. Like I said, it relates to allegation of forgery against some court ruling, and so they met him. They met the nominee also behind closed doors. But they are now ready to come to the plenary, to come to the committee to now sit.
All right.
We are hoping that they will give us details in this particular petition, allow the nominee to respond to the contents of this petition, and then everything will be left in the hands of the committee to determine whether the nominee is still suitable or not for the position he's been nominated for.
I see. But finally, before you go, Elton, have you seen Mr. Pomang, and what's his demeanor?
Well, he's ready. He's actually been left in one of the rooms. As soon as the chairman walks into the committee room, he'll be ushered into the room for commencement of this vetting. But he's ready. You can see that he's ready to face the appointment committee and then possibly respond to the allegation against him.
Okay, all right. Elton, thank you very much for that update. That's Elton John Brobe, our parliamentary correspondent there. Now, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, the DVLA, has denied enforcing the controversial directives on seatbelts in commercial vehicles and acquisition of driver's licenses. Commercial drivers in several parts of Accra refused to operate on Monday in protest against the directive, leaving many commuters stranded as a result. Chief Executive of the DVLA, Rudolph Beckley, at a news conference yesterday, assured the drivers the law is yet to be enforced and urged them to come to the authority with their grievances.
We are going to introduce onto our examination platform, like you rightly said, some language structures so that when you come there, if you want the questions to be asked to you in Twi, all you need to do is to press Twi, and the questions are asked to you in Twi, and the possible answers are also provided in Twi. All you have to do is to tap on the correct one, and off you go. These are the interventions we are bringing on board to ensure that we do not deny anybody who has that skill to be able to manage the vehicle very well. I mentioned in my speech that we, as part of the timeline that we have put together for this particular seatbelt implementation project, we have the first week of June for the fitting of seatbelts, and not for the enforcement on the use of seatbelts. These are two clearly distinct interventions or measures. We are talking about first and foremost fitting the belts before.
Director of Training and Testing at the DVLA, C.W. Musa, explained the form of training for existing drivers in the acquisition and renewal of driver's licenses.
We are saying that, yes, the people who are already drivers and are illiterate, you will continue to be in the system until thy kingdom come, your time comes. But those who are coming in, let the standards start with them. So we are not against those people who are already in the system that are illiterate. They will be there. All drivers who want to drive commercial vehicles, commercial, because you are carrying people and they are paying for your services, you should have some measure of knowledge. And it's saying that before we allow you to drive people for money, every year the association for which you belong shall organize training sessions for you. It is not DVLA. It is not that we are saying go to a DVLA school. We are saying that your institution, your organization will organize training classes for you. And these are refresher skill building classes. Then you will come and present to us a document of participation that you have participated in these training programs.
For existing drivers.
For existing drivers, but that is yet to come. We have not even started. So we will have to educate the public yet before we introduce that.
Police in Wa have begun investigations to unravel the mystery surrounding the death of a 65-year-old watchman of the Nakori Chanha Chips compound in the Wa municipality. Abdul Rahman Isahaku was shot dead by unidentified assailants in the early hours of Tuesday. Now, police say they initially thought the crime was committed by suspected robbers, but further investigation has revealed that it was an act of murder. Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Nakori in the Upper West region.
According to the community health officer in charge of the Nakori Chanha Chips compound, Comfort Sung Ludong, the incident happened around 4 a.m. when she heard strange noise coming from where the watchman was. She peeped through her window and saw two men shoot the watchman and sped off with a motorbike.
I called his name, Senje, no response. So that way I was afraid. So I started calling the community members, those who I had their contacts. So I called them and they came around and also gave a hand shop. At first I was thinking the thieves were not gone yet. But when I called one of them, they said they are around, so I can now come out. Then I opened the door and came out only to come and see the watchman lying in a pool of blood, dead.
Comfort Sung Ludong says she is afraid for her life and doesn't know what will happen next.
That man have saved my life. I would have been the one, so that's just the only fear.
The Wa police picked the deceased to the Wa Regional Hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead on arrival. The body of the deceased was later deposited at the Wa Regional Hospital morgue for autopsy. Many people living in the community suspect that the crime may have been committed by suspected robbers. However, the Wa police, after visiting the crime scene, suspected otherwise. ASP Joy Kujo Afagbeji is the Upper West Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Police Service.
Initially, the information that filtered to the police indicated armed robbery, but upon a visit to the scene of crime, we realized that nothing was taken, no property was taken away from, no break-in was took place, and no property was stolen from anybody. And so it's a clear case of murder. We're treating it as a murder case.
Well, indeed, that'll be it for the bulletin. My name is Kwabna Chencheni. But before we go, though, a quick recap of our top stories. A 35-year-old man has died while rescuing others from drowning in Tuesday's floodwaters in Kumasi. Mayor Summit has ended here in Accra. In business, Ghana has been commended for making strides in ensuring food security. That's it for the bulletin. For more news, do well to log on to myjonline.com. Have a good afternoon.